I've got 5 super tasty fills for you right here. You can download this PDF and the backing track to practice all this stuff too. But first, I'm just going to play the first section just with root notes so you get a feel for it. That's what I recommend you would do first of all. So just A, I'm playing that 5th fret E string. You could play that open if you like. To C, 3rd fret A string. To the G on the 3rd fret E string. And just long notes. Occasionally some rhythm if you want. Listen out for the kick drum, follow that. I want to go straight into the fills. Here's the first one. So let's go through that very slowly. That squiggle is a rest. So we've got a 1 beat rest and then a hammer on from G to A. Frets 3 to 5 on the E string. I'm using fingers 1 to 3 for that. You could use 1 to 4. Keep your first finger pressed down on the G and just have that 3rd finger, that's the one I'm using, curled like that and coming into the fretboard really strongly. So it's G to A and then C to A. Then we pluck the D on the 5th fret A string and slide across into the 7th fret E. And then you're sliding back again. So those 2 notes are this. So that's 1 finger. I've got my thumb at the back of the neck like this. So it's kind of pivoting a little bit like that. And then it's timing to get the C afterwards. Okay. Now the first thing to know about bass fills is to use them in good taste, don't do them all the time. And also where you do it is also important. A good rule of thumb is kind of towards the end of the phrase. So if this is a 4-bar chord progression, use it at the end, like this. The other rule is never to miss the note you're about to go to. So at this speed one, so you've got the A on beat 1 of the bar 1 again of the groove. You've got to get that right. So any fill, that's really a rule. Let's look at the next one we've got here. Again, we have a rest. That's a 1 beat quarter note rest, then a dotted 8th rest. So at this slow speed, I'm still subdividing every beat into 16ths. So it's like 1 E and a 2 E, and you've got to have that pulse going because this C is on the last 16th of the 2nd beat. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's on the 4th one. So let me play it in context. Here it is. 2, 3, 4, 1. So you have a pull off this time, kind of like the opposite of a hammer on. So I'm fretting the 4th fret of the G string, the B, with my 1st finger. That's always down. 2nd finger is on the 5th fret C. So you pluck, and that finger flicks down towards the floor to get the energy to pluck the string again. The pull off needs to be as loud as the pluck. Then we've got the G on the 5th fret D string. Now this is how I'm choosing to do it. Then we've got a hammer on, 5 to 7 on the A string. So just that bit slowly. In fact, if you look at the plucking hand, you could pluck all of that in one motion, raking your index finger or middle finger go middle, index. There's lots of ways to do that. That's the last little figure. G, 5th fret, D string. Now to get that ghost note, I don't really want to use one finger because then you might get a harmonic. That's why I tend to use more than one finger for a ghost note. And it's timing. You can't mute the string on that first note because you need a G. So it's just after that. So you're closing your hand out. Then you've got the hammer on again. And like I said before, you can download this, you can watch this lesson again, and you can just go through the notes really slowly. Maybe you just do that, then you do that, then you piece that together. Maybe go around it. And then integrate it with the bass line. Let's have a look at this third one. Now what I've done here is I've done the same line with articulations and without. Articulations or expressive techniques, those are your pull-offs, hammer-ons, slides. And when talking about tasty melodic bass fills, I think you have to talk about those articulations because that really brings sort of boring notes to life. After these 5 lines I'm going to teach you, by the way, I'm going to just finish off very quickly showing you how you can make up your own fills really easily. But here we go. Here's this fill with no articulations. Again, slowly, 3, 4. Okay, now here's the same thing with articulations. It's just much better sound to my ears anyway. I'm going to teach you that one. Right, so this is a grace note. It's a note that there are 2 types of grace notes. One that is just slightly before the note, before the beat, and one sort of on it. This is the one before. And rather than read all of that, you might just follow exactly what I'm telling you to do. So on the D string, we're doing a little hammer on between frets 13 and 14. This will really make sense in the next portion when I explain what these notes are. So 2nd to 3rd finger, and it's 1, 2. That's the timing, 1, 2. And it's all about timing. Here I am going index, middle. Now we're coming back to that E, the 14th fret. 2 more Gs, then an A. Just that bit. Compare that to this. I just think that articulation adds a lot. So when you're playing fills, certainly make sure that you know how to play all those hammer-ons and pull-offs and whatnot. Then we have the opposite thing. We have 13 to 12 in terms of fret numbers on the D string. And then we have this. So we've got the pull-off. Make sure your first finger is pressing down on the 12th fret. You pluck, you do that flick, that pull-off, okay? And it's 1 pluck here. Now you must keep your first finger pressed into the fretboard and then you slide down 2 frets. That could go wrong if your first finger releases any kind of pressure on that 12th fret. You just won't have any note. The string will stop. I'm even putting some vibrato in there, which I haven't notated, but why not? Then we have the A. Even here, I'll show you this little technique. So I've got this little portion here, and if you watch my 3rd finger, as the first finger, this is the sort of technical consideration you need to really zero in on to get really good, I think. So you've got your first finger on the 10th fret of the D string, but watch very closely the third finger. It's already there and waiting for the next note, the 12th fret. And if I'm just improvising like that, I've got my fingers in order, and that's just a technique thing. Right, there's one more fill to play. Okay, so we have a bend, just a half step bend. So you're trying to bend it a fret higher. So I've got second and third fingers right under the string, pushing it up, maybe even a bit of the thumb on the top here just to squeeze it. Okay, then you can release it and come down to the D, normal D. Or you could just bend and release it. It's sort of up to you. After that we have a C and an A. So that's the rhythm. C with a bit of vibrato. I'm just waving that string up and down. And then we have this nice run. Another grace note. Let's listen to that in context. So we're in the key of A minor, so that just tells us immediately A minor pentatonic. If we add a flat 5 into that, we get the blues scale. And that's my tip, just learn that scale up the octave as well. In fact, everywhere. And just improvise around that. You can do it without a backing track to start with. And I especially love wherever you have a D, so wherever the A is, which is the root note here, basically the same fret, but on the next string, that note, that's where you have the blues note next to it. So you can just bend up a half step or slide into that note. Sounds a little bit wrong if you hang around on it. Bit too tense. But if you pass through it to another stable note either side, sounds great. That's where you bend into it, then you come back to the D, and it sounds good. Now for me, tasty melodic fills come from what I was talking about earlier. The articulations, hammer-ons. And also, not playing a fill too many times. I have to in this lesson play too much, just to show you. But if you're rehearsing or playing live or doing a session, you don't want to step on anyone else's toes. You don't want to be too busy. People will love it if you play and just every now and again a fill like that comes out. You know, I'm not really doing much there, am I? Just playing the root note. That's it. Now the real trick, and this is what I'll leave you with, is just to know what notes fit, for one thing. So we're in the key of A minor. That's A natural minor. And whatever note you're on, all of these chords fit within the key. If you basically play the notes of A minor, starting on any of these notes, it will sound great. You will be playing modes, but you don't even need to be thinking about that. The G, so you've got F to G, that section. There's a G. just went G to G, playing all the notes of the A natural minor scale. That's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No sharps, no flats. Nice key to practice in, this one, because of that reason. All of these notes fit, all of these notes work. So certainly knowing what notes fit over what chord is going to help you. Restraining yourself a bit, not playing too much. Knowing the feel, you know, this very slow 16th notes sound good. And articulations, you know, so those are just a few ideas. If you want another lesson that goes into a little bit of what notes to use to make up good bass lines, then this lesson right here is one for you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.